Hello, everybody. Give me just 1 second here.
Affirmation apparel is available in the Choose store at www.tvivmn.com. Choose what you need as often as you need it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to this episode of I.C.E. Today, my guest is Kylene Montgomery. She and I have been friends through a number of avenues, but we're in a mastermind together. But this one is about yoga. I have been doing yoga with Kylene for over a year now, and I just want to share her gifts with you and answer any questions that you might have. So I'm going to bring Kylene up right now. Hi, Kylene.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you for being willing to come on here and do this. Yoga has been so important to me this past year. I know that when I knew that you did it, and I figured that your one yoga class, it's like for people with no health issues, was going to be way too much for me. So I asked you about chair yoga, and it just kind of went from there. So we'll get to that in a minute. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, how long you've been doing yoga, teaching yoga, and kind of why you're passionate about it?
Yeah. Well, throughout my life, I've done yoga, and every time I reflect back and I think about the times in my life that I've felt the best emotionally and physically, it's been when I was doing yoga. And I've always had this dream of being a yoga teacher, but I never thought that I fit the part, right? And then I finally used my tools, right, through the journey, and realized if I'm thinking this and it's so helpful for me, why not show up for others? That this can really be a powerful tool that they can use. So I've been teaching online through Zoom live classes for about 1.5 years now. And it's been one of the best things, one of the best decisions I've ever made. It's so amazing to see people, because you think of yoga, right? You think of yoga as you're bent like a pretzel and it's really difficult and you have to balance and do handstands and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yoga is different for all of us and it looks different for everyone. So as you know, there's chair yoga, which gives you that extra support that you need. And then there's gentle yoga, and then you can continue to go on to different styles of yoga from there. But yeah, that's a little bit about like why I'm doing it, because it is such a powerful tool to really quiet your mind. So often life just comes at us. And so when we learn to quiet our mind, come back to our breath before we respond, it's such a powerful tool to show up for ourselves and continue to live life with more joy and more smiles. And
Absolutely. I just remember to bring the chat up here. Jay is not producing today, and so sometimes I get lost in the conversation, so I need to flip screens. But hello, Chuck.
Hey, Chuck. Good to see you here.
Anyone who's logging on, please feel free to say hi, ask any questions that you might have. Kylene is a wealth of knowledge. I'm going to just quickly share my little bit of a story because it directly is associated with yoga. A lot of people already know this, but my health took a really bad downward turn, and I had autoimmune stuff pop up, rheumatoid arthritis, and my mobility was just terrible. I was in chronic pain all the time from head to toe, and I was walking with a cane. And so I really attribute yoga to giving me or helping me maintain what strength I had, and also with increased flexibility and mobility and strength. Just 1 second. Chuck wants to know how Jay is. He's good. We wanted him to go to the ER because in case it was cardiac related, but he apparently has some bug that we don't know, but I'm just glad that it wasn't heart related. So he stayed home today to rest, and so he's home with the fur babies right now. So with me doing yoga for, it's been over a year now, I think, the chair yoga,
Yep.
I was able to maintain some of that. And once I had my weight loss surgery in November, I quickly got rid of the cane and increased my strength, all those things. And now we're starting to go from just chair positions and moves to more standing. And so my balance is getting better, and all of those things. So to me, yoga is for absolutely everybody, no matter where you start at, because just the practice of it, you can get so much, not only physically, but mentally as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that, because yoga is a personal practice. Yes, you are part of a class. Yes, you have that direction or instruction, but at the same time, your pose might look very different than someone else, and it's okay. Like, that's what I think I love about yoga, is it's so welcoming, and there's different variations of poses that you can do. Or if there's not one that we know of, we're going to come up with something that is still going to be beneficial for you. Because, like I said, I didn't want to become a yoga teacher for so long because I didn't think I looked the part. I mean, how silly is that? Like, you don't have to do a handstand. I would love to do a handstand someday, and maybe I will, but I can't. I physically cannot yet. And that's okay. That doesn't mean that I can't practice yoga if I can't do a certain move. Because it's being intentional with your breathing, bringing that energy into your body, and then bringing stillness into your body, I think is so important. And it's a trained practice. It's not something that happens naturally. It's like meditation, right?
Yes.
It takes time to get used to quieting your thoughts, and just seeing what comes up. And that's when the magic happens, when you discover who you are again. And that's, in my opinion, a little bit about what yoga does, on top of all those wonderful physical benefits that you're talking about. Trusting yourself again. Like, when you leave a yoga practice, I don't know about you, but for me, when I leave a yoga practice, because I still go to my own practice too, I feel centered again. I feel balanced. I feel confident that I can take on whatever the world is giving me, so I can show up and respond in a way that's meaningful. I don't know if that's what kind of feeling you leave with, but
it is. I tend to be more energized, just feel more centered, and maybe something wasn't going right prior to yoga. It typically seems diminished after the fact. And I typically leave feeling quite proud of myself, because over time you can see these changes, being able to do eagle arms, getting into a pose a little bit better. And yeah, it might not work every single time, because your body changes from one time to the next. But even, before my surgery, and I was still having a lot of the chronic pain stuff, a lot of it could be diminished to a certain extent after we were done. Yeah. Or, even just stretching in the morning, using some of those poses in the mornings to wake up your body so that you are feeling better. But it really has helped also with how I respond to things, on a daily basis, where some things would have made me really cranky. At one point in time, I tend to be more, okay, we're going to breathe and we're going to think about this, and then we're going to come back to it, instead of shooting from the hip and maybe saying something that I'm going to regret later.
Yeah.
That type of thing. So
yeah, I like that you said that. Yeah, it's giving yourself grace. And I say that during our practices, give yourself grace and compassion. Especially if we're doing a balance pose. Balance is so interesting. Some days you have it, and some days you're just all over the place. And guess what? That's okay. No one is judging you. No one is paying attention to you, because it's such a personal practice. Yeah, I love that you said that.
And we already kind of covered this, but you don't have to be completely flexible or be able to go into like a pretzel pose at all to get the benefits of yoga. I mean, for the longest time, I couldn't, do much with my feet or my legs because it would hurt and it would aggravate some conditions that I had. But over time, that's gotten better, and the weight loss has certainly helped too. But even before the weight loss surgery, I was starting to see improvements. So I really recommend this for people who have maybe chronic issues, physical issues, things like that, or even people that have like some mental health stuff going on. There's no shame in that, whatsoever. It's a fact of life that 90 however percent of Americans have some sort of mental thing going on because we live in a really busy world and we're always like reacting to things. And so sometimes that just gets to be too much. So it's nice to just, remember to breathe, remember that we can take that pause.
Yeah. And like you were saying with like health conditions and chronic pain, it really can help do that. Being intentional with certain poses can really, really, really help with that pain and strengthening your body, especially your core. And I don't know, it's powerful. Just learning how to move your body intentionally, I think, is something that you don't really get taught, right? Unless you're are doing a certain sport or whatever. You don't really think about how you're moving, how you're sitting until it hurts. And then you have to think about it. Yeah. And so having some poses that strengthen your body, strengthen your mind so you can get through some of those difficult moments. And then over time, it just eases that pain that you might have. I will say I am not a doctor or a physical therapist or a chiropractor or anything like that. But I do know that working with a chiropractor or someone like that, it's a really great, as long as you have your doctor's approval, if you do have a lot of medical conditions, it's really important just to talk to your doctor first before you go and jump in. But the type of yoga, that we're doing, you can take it to whatever level you want.
Yeah.
If you want a strenuous practice, you can give yourself a strenuous practice. If you want to be more gentle with yourself, you can do that too. And it's still equally as beneficial for you.
And one thing I do like, and I want to touch on this, yes, there are many free videos out there. However, for me, it's been worth the investment of my time and my money to want to show up. Otherwise, if it's just a video, I tend to be like, oh, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Unless I make that intentional commitment. And also to get the feedback from you, because you can see me, I can see you, you can model what the move looks like. And then if anything needs to be modified, it's hey, Kylene, how can we do this a little bit different? Because this is I'm not able to do this right now. And so that was important to me. I had enough issues without going rogue on my own and trying to follow somebody that the program's not meant for me, or whatever. So getting that one-on-one. You tell us like the two different sessions that you do teach, the chair yoga and then the gentle yoga.
Yeah. So chair yoga is done in your chair. So that gives you support for your body. It just takes any kind of pressure off of you so you can still get your movements in. We still do our forward folds as much as we can, and we still do our poses. It just looks a little different, and that's okay. I just think it's so cool that we can apply yoga in different ways and it looks different. I just love it. And thank you to you for encouraging me to start chair yoga, because that wasn't on my radar, even though my career prior to this, I did work with people who had physical disabilities. I don't know why the chair yoga didn't occur. So I'm so thankful to you for encouraging me to teach these kinds of classes. And then the other one is gentle yoga. So gentle yoga is still great for beginners. It can be taken to different levels. If you have any physical issues going on, just let me know ahead of time and I can offer you a modification for a certain pose. And there's always different variations to a pose for the most part. And so it's just, I want everyone to experience yoga. I truly do. I think it is something that has a reputation sometimes of a person that, like I was saying at the beginning, that um, looks like just like a little stick figure that can twist and bend and all that good stuff. And while there's nothing wrong with that, I think it's wonderful that they do that. It doesn't have to look like that for you. And so I hope that really, if anyone can get anything from what we're talking about today, is that yoga is truly for everyone, whatever your ability is. We will work together. And so like you were saying, there's the free yoga online and all of that. So why is this different? And I love that you mentioned that, because it is that accountability. You have someone who is holding you to an appointment, right? And so you're going to show up. And the other thing is you're going to show up for the entire class.
Right.
So when you do those, sometimes you do those online classes, there's no one really forcing you to show up. There's no one really encouraging you to push yourself, trust yourself, believe in yourself as you move through these postures, as well as giving you the feedback of, how to do the pose correctly so you don't hurt yourself. There's a lot of benefits there.
And I know that sometimes, like if I am doing a class on my own, and just as a perfect example, this isn't yoga related, but I have a bunch of classes that I have access to, and I've started 2 of them, haven't finished one of them because you get distracted, things come up, and it's like, oh, I'll do it later, or something else comes up and you have to run out to leave. With it being an appointment, it's something that is important to me, and I don't want to waste anyone else's time, so I can come in and do it, and then I feel better afterwards. So I at least give it a try. And Kylene does do. You can contact her, and you can do a class, you can experience it, and I think that that's wonderful, because some people, they just they don't have that confidence going into it of, oh my gosh, this is something that I can even do. And I know for the chair yoga, it's a very small class, and we're all very nice and we don't bite.
Yeah, we are. Yes. They're amazing people. I don't know. I think yoga just attracts like-minded people, which is really a powerful thing. So going along with that accountability, like you're showing up to your appointment, part of that is that connection that you're building. And we all need connection in our life, being a part of something. So that's another benefit that yoga does bring for you. And as far as the class to try it out, you can go to www.riseshinesmile.com, and that will take you to our main page, and you can click on the yoga button, and you can sign up for a free class, and you can sign up for a chair class or a gentle yoga class. I want people to try it out, because I want people to trust what we're offering here and what this is really all about. It is for everyone. And I hope that when you would come, you would ask questions ahead of time if you had any concerns. I want everyone to feel welcome. I lead my classes with attitude of gratitude. Like, gratitude is kind of my theme for our classes. It's really appreciating what you have, appreciating your body, that you were able to show up for this practice and you were able to trust yourself enough to follow through with this commitment that you made, trust yourself to move through these poses. And I mean, doing that, surviving that risk, right? That risk sometimes is just showing up, starts to build that confidence in yourself and the trust in yourself.
And I love that you said that too, because even before I had even started thinking about weight loss surgery, sometimes I was so mad at myself and my limitations, that I didn't ever think about what my body was doing for me. And so I was in this really negative mindset, and this is a perfect segue to mindset and gratitude and some other things that it was really helpful for me to start prioritizing myself and being like, okay, yeah, I'm walking with a cane, but I'm still walking.
Yeah.
I'm able to do my practice today and feel better afterwards. So what can I do to make tomorrow even a little bit better? And a lot of that has to do with mindset. And we talk a lot about mindset, and you do a lot with mindset because you are involved with Jack Canfield, and I'll let you explain more of that so I don't butcher it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about like your mindset, you truly have to believe in yourself. You have to root for yourself. You have to be your own cheerleader and show up for yourself. And when you're down and you're feeling stuck, it's really hard to get yourself out, right? Because then you start attracting people who can listen to you as you stay in that place. And then it's even harder to dig out of that negative headspace. So I think with your mindset, coming back to that positive mindset, gratitude is your superpower that you can access. We all have it. We all have the ability. We have to choose, like your choose store.
Yes.
We can choose to say, hey, this is really hard right now. I'm thankful I have this opportunity to learn right now. Thankful that I'm in this position and I get to make the choice of how I move forward. It doesn't take that event away that's really challenging. It just helps you get out of it faster. I think that's a point that I've missed in the past when I talk about your mindset, is that I'm not saying that bad things or difficult things, challenging things won't happen, because that's not true.
Right.
And we're going to go into that negative headspace. We're humans. We have feelings and emotions. That's just who we are as people. And that's a good thing. But how long do you want to stay there?
Yeah.
It's really...
do you want to unpack and hang out for a long time? Or perfect example is yesterday, Jay wasn't feeling well. And it brings me back to the initial heart attack, and just some things kind of trigger a response. And he's like, I need to go to the ER. So it's like, okay, what are we dealing with? And I could have stayed there. But once we were done, I chose to take a nap because I was just like depleted. And then I got up today and I'm like, okay, what can I choose that's going to make my day better so that I'm not living in that fear that cropped back up. And it's been a much better day. And, there's always going to be those scares, or something else, coming down the pipe. But I find that with mindset and gratitude and taking care of myself, if I can, put it away faster, I acknowledge it, because you don't have to bury stuff. It's a whole nother issue.
Yeah. That's another show.
Yeah. That's like, okay, what can I do to make things better from here? What do I need in this?
Yeah. Which I think, you're doing amazing. And I love how open you are to sharing with everyone, because I do think that will inspire people to invest in themselves, to trust that it doesn't have to look this way for me. I can make choices to move forward. And that's, for me, teaching yoga, that's what it's about. It's giving someone a resource, a tool, so they can build that confidence within themselves again and feel better emotionally and physically. You had talked about Jack Canfield. So I am certified as a Jack Canfield success coach, if you will, or trainer. It's probably not coach, it's trainer. But either way, it's these success principles. It's a way to live your life. Now, every success guru out there has their own version, right? But Jack Canfield's just really made sense to me. It really My husband, also Aaron, is also a trainer with the Success Principles, and he's actually taken his training a little bit further than I have. But I have a career as a counselor for many years prior to doing all of this, and coming back to these principles, these core things that you can do. I mean, the first success principle is taking 100% responsibility for your life. Oh, I mean, to me, that's a really big one. That's a really hard one too.
Yeah.
It's simple, but it's really hard to do. But once you can do it, even if it takes you time, again, giving yourself grace as you go through it, it's so powerful. So taking 100% responsibility is, are you getting the outcomes in your life that you want? And so, like, your story, you were not feeling and having the results that you were wanting.
Right.
So you took responsibility of your life and you made the choice, okay, I am going to do this. I'm going to show up for myself to do this. And I'm committed to this goal so I feel and get these outcomes that I'm desiring. That's really what it's about.
And it's not always easy. I mean, definitely. That's why I'm glad I have friends like you and Becky and some other people that, part of it is me getting a hold of Becky in the morning. Yeah, I didn't want to get out of bed this morning. But I'm like, oh yeah, Becky's depending on me to make that phone call to make sure she's up and vice versa. So that, okay, it's time to do XYZ because I chose not to do my workout last night because I intentionally chose to rest, which was fine. But this morning it was kind of, okay, it's time to get busy and take responsibility for that now.
Yeah. And you said the key word there many times, which is you made that choice. You own that choice. And it's so you're not blaming, you're not complaining or anything. You are taking responsibility. That was my choice that I made that time. And you move forward, and that's taking that responsibility. There's several, I think there's 67 success principles that we share and we teach about, believing it's possible and believing you can, believing in yourself. I mean, for me, those have been the most powerful behind taking 100% responsibility, because we can get stuck in that headspace and we are just criticizing everything that we do. Not other people, our inner critic, the things that we say to ourselves. It's ugly sometimes.
It's really interesting how I'm more self-aware of how I talk to myself. I'm the first one to call out anyone else who's talking negatively about themselves or using only, but just, in sentences. But sometimes I miss the part of I'm not being very nice to myself. So it's taking that breath and being like, okay, I really need to knock this off.
Yeah. So, and that's what the beauty of learning to quiet your mind is all about. You become more aware of who you are as a person and coming back to your breath again, and then coming back to your affirmations. These are tools, again, that you can use to really help get you into that better headspace. You have to believe it to achieve it. I mean, you don't have to see it, because we don't see our goals happening. If we wait till then, it's not going to happen, right? So you truly have to believe it's possible for yourself. And I think using our tools like this, it's just so powerful, and it can take you so far. And it's a habit. It takes time to get to this regular positive headspace, if you will. And it takes having the people around you, like you said, the right people around you to lift you up, to continue to be your cheerleaders that are growth minded. They're not stuck in the blaming and complaining zone, because that takes your energy and you feel depleted afterward. And then it's even harder to keep moving forward, right? So,
It is.
Yeah.
So yeah, mindset is so important, and we will be doing a podcast here next month on the emotional freedom technique tapping. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, we get together several times a week and do like tapping meditations. And so we're going to do a whole podcast with a couple more people to go over that. I've introduced it to several of my friends, and they really, really enjoy it. It was something that I had never heard of until like a year ago, but now I absolutely love it. Hold on a second. I didn't know.
Do you have friends in there?
I don't know who that person was, but they're in timeout now.
Yeah, someone likes yogurt. Saw that one.
There we go. I didn't even know how to look for that, but a friend of mine who also does podcasts, she had someone in hers last week that was a troll, and so she had to figure out how to block two on a different thing.
Yeah.
Well, this one's going on.
Yeah, you need.
Apparently, it's that kind of a day.
Goodbye.
For those of you who are here to like listen and learn about this, we thank you.
Yeah. So you were talking about tapping, and tapping is such a cool way to you reprogram your brain into taking these negative emotions and stories you tell yourself and reprogram them, and you tap on the energy points on your body, which is the quickest pathway to your brain. And it's so powerful. I'm glad you're going to do a show about that.
Yeah, and it's something that I really was skeptical about at first, but there are days when we are like, okay, what do we need for the day? Oh, we need focus, or we need productivity. And on those days that we do a tapping meditation on those things, I tend to have the best days. So
yeah,
that will be coming up. I can't remember the exact date, but I'll be putting it out there too.
It's in May, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder.
But yeah, so I think like all of these tools all really come down to self-care, right? And yoga is a form of self-care. It's a form of meditation, if you will. It's a form of exercise. It's just a really powerful tool. Is it right for everyone? Of course not. That's why I have people try a class, because I want people to go that really are finding the value in it. If it was for everyone would be doing it. I think everyone can do it, but will everyone like it? Maybe not.
Yeah.
But you don't know until you try. And
right. And I think it's great that you do the free class so that you can at least see, because I know there's a lot of people who are intimidated to go out and do a class amongst real people. Not that this isn't real people, but there's a certain still anonymity on Zoom, and like you're in St. Louis. So I wouldn't be able to do a class with you otherwise, but I wouldn't feel comfortable doing a class that's offered here in town, because it would be probably too far advanced for me at this point in my journey. So I appreciate that fact, and we get to meet other people from all over too.
Yeah.
So technology has really opened up, and I love that.
Yeah.
So
yes, I am as resistant as I was to this whole idea at first. I am so thankful for it.
Yes.
It was uncomfortable for me. Didn't want to be behind the camera, and then you survive your risk, right? You build your confidence, and then you're like, wow, this whole new world opened up to me. Thank God I did not let myself stay wondering.
There was definitely, the pandemic was definitely hard, but when I look at it, there are definitely good things that came out of that time, and a lot of friendships were born through this computer screen. So I'm very thankful for that.
I agree 100%. I think that's what pushed me over to like, okay, you need to really embrace this technology here. Yeah.
So I encourage everyone to do daily gratitude. I know that we do it online in a channel for a group that we're in. But even if it's, I'm grateful for the sunshine today, or I'm grateful for the rain, you tend to build on that, and it just helps you have a better outlook. And it's amazing how much better you feel when you lead with a grateful heart. And
Yep.
then I really encourage people to go to Kylene's website, riseshinesmile.com, and see about doing one of her classes and see if it's for you. And I would love to hear feedback,
Yes.
because I will talk about yoga and mindset or any of that all day long. And I'm hoping that some of my bariatric friends from TikTok come on and see this too, because I did share it in that space, because it helped me a ton.
Awesome.
So,
Well,
go
oh,
ahead.
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna ask if there's anything else you would like to add or touch on before we go.
I just want to say how amazing you are. And I always say how awesome it is, how open you are with sharing your story and your journey and all of this. But just the commitment you've made to yourself. I think for me, being around someone who's so committed to their goals and to making their life better is very inspiring for me. So thank you so much.
You.
It means the world to me. It also makes me want to show up better for you too, and continue to learn and share new techniques I might learn, or new poses, all that fun stuff. So we really do. I don't know. Yoga just brings a different connection, like I said, to people that can really change your life. And so please,
yes,
don't be hesitant to sign up. I'm open. You can reach out to me, ask questions, any of that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Ask Tanya. She will tell you exactly what to expect.
Yes. And if I could ever help, then I love to help. I love to help those that want to help themselves. That's a better way of putting that, because there's some people that just want you to do the work for them. That's not what I'm about. That's what I stands for: inspire, collaborate, and encourage, working together. And I think that's another reason why I love working with you, not only on yoga, but in our mastermind group and things like that, is because we can talk and bounce ideas and things like that. And I just think that's so healthy. Definitely are kind of the sum of those that you spend the most time with. And I just love having conversations with like-minded people that can spur each other forward. So thank you for that.
Yeah, well, thank you. I'm glad you're a part of the mastermind. The mastermind program is super powerful. It's hard to describe until you experience it, right? The magic that really happens in it. And again, I think it's that connection and accountability.
If anyone's interested in that, the mastermind group is for small businesses who want to move themselves forward. Jay and I have been in business for a long time. We probably didn't do anything along our journey the typical way. We seem to like to go about everything with struggle. But being part of the group has just been amazing, because we can share and we can give ideas. I'm really good at like coming up with stuff for other people, where I don't do that for myself. So it does end up helping me to be able to be like, oh, well, I could benefit from that too.
Yeah. So it's like, so if anyone wants to learn more, it's oursuccessgroup.com. And it's like having business partners without having business partners. Because like you said, you love to help other people. Well, guess what? Other people love to help you too.
Yes.
And then you can work through any of those challenges that you might have, or ideas that you want to implement, but you're not sure where to start. All that fun stuff is in there.
Yes.
So,
and there's kind of a couple different levels to it. There's our success group that is one level. And then there's the mastermind group too, that you can go into to dig even deeper. So, and I lurked in the space for a long time, and then I just decided to go for it. And I'm really glad that I did. So
I am too. It's awesome having you there.
Well, Kylene, I'm so happy that you were on today, and I appreciate all your your gifts and how much you've helped me. Yoga has become a very important part of my life. And a couple of years ago, I would have been like, no, I'm not going to be doing yoga because that's not me. I'm not going to be doing tapping because that's not me. Jay still doesn't completely understand it, so he calls it my hoodoo voodoo, but he's like, whatever works for you.
Yes,
Like,
yes.
So,
well, it's been wonderful working with you. I'm very fortunate to have you in my life, and thank you for having me today. It's been awesome to share a little bit about yoga and mindset with you guys.
Awesome. And again, how to reach Kylene is riseshinesmile.com. She's all about smiling and being positive, and I just love that. So I'm going to pop you backstage real quick.
Okay. Sounds great. Well, thank you. Bye, everyone.
I will be back in a little bit. Thank you, everyone, for watching today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, contact Kylene, and I'm always available for questions as well. Yoga has made a tremendous difference in my life, in my strength, my flexibility, and also how I think about things. So thanks, and we will talk to you later. We will be back next week. I will have Mikey Sigmund. I work with her. She runs a blanks business for sublimation blanks, and I'm one of her designers. So I just want to talk to her about collaboration and how that all works, and it'll be a really good conversation. So have a great day, everyone.